Pushing the Limits with Brian Shapiro. Brian will talk sports, politics, entertainment, and anything that matters to you. Feel free to call Brian at 702-221-7283.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Now, Pushing the Limits, here's Brian Shapiro.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, Pushing the Limits. Thank you so much for joining us. All over the World Wide Web. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitch. We're on X. Of course, we're on YouTube, my personal YouTube page at PTL Radio Show. We're on the Occupy Democrats Network. We're on the Washington Press Network. And, of course, the FM AM dial right here on KSHB. Man, do we have some great guests lined up for you today. A man who was Donald Trump's press secretary for not very long, Anthony Scaramucci, he's going to be joining us. Great mind, smart guy. He'll be joining us at the bottom of the hour. A man that's regarded by so many as probably one of the best sports handicappers in the world, if not the best. His life has really been insane just from a standpoint of the way he's lived his life. His name is Bill Krackenberger, and he's quite the personality. And he's going to be joining us in hour number 2. So you're not going to want to miss that. That is for sure. And listen, I don't know if this is true or not, but there is a possibility that we could be getting a phone call from the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. We're hoping anyway. But we got Anthony Scaramucci coming up at the bottom of the hour. And we have Bill Krackenberger coming up in hour number 2. Listen, I don't want to waste anybody's time here because this is very special. And when anybody decides to take the time to come on this show, especially when the former president of the United States decides to call up, it certainly is an honor. And even though I'm not a huge fan of his, I appreciate the fact that he comes on this show and he's willing to speak with me. That's right, former President Donald Trump joining us on the line right now. Mr. President, I am honored that you are with us, my friend. How are you doing today?
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, Supreme Leader. Happy birthday to me.
Yes.
How are you, Brian?
Yes, Mr.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
President,
you.
how old are you?
I'm 78. I'm 70, but I want to say something.
Sure.
I'm 78. Biden is 80, but those 2 years are like dog years for Biden. He's far older than I am. I'm in incredible shape. I played a round of golf this morning, East Coast time. I got 18 holes in one. It was absolutely incredible. I mean, we had all the pro golfers there, big guys, strong guys, all crying, tears in their eyes, saying I'm the greatest golfer in the history of golf, and they said I'm a fantastic president, but they're saying I'm an even better golfer.
Wow.
And Tiger Woods.
Wow. 18 holes in one. Yeah, go ahead.
18 holes in one. And I'm not talking about putt-putt golf. I'm talking about real golf. And Tiger Woods said to me, who's probably one of the greatest living players, he said, Sir, I'm so lucky you are not a professional golfer because I would just hang my head in shame.
Wow.
That's Tiger Woods, by the way.
Wow.
At least he looked like him. You know, it's hard to tell those people apart. They look the same. But I'm pretty sure it was Tiger Woods.
I'm going to leave that one alone, Mr. President. Some people could claim that could be a racist statement, Mr. President.
No, I love the black people. Okay. Great athletes.
All right. I'll leave that one alone, Mr.
I know
President.
Flavor. Did you know I know Flavor Flav? Did you know that?
I did not know that. You're friends with Flavor Flav?
I know that.
Wow.
I know. I wouldn't say friends. I know Flavor Flav. And Little John was on The Apprentice.
He was.
On The Apprentice.
He was. But Mr. President, I have a bone to pick with you. You do play a lot of golf, but you keep complaining that the trial kept you from campaigning. Then why are you playing so much golf, Mr. President?
I said it kept me from complaining.
Okay.
That's what I said. I didn't say campaigning.
Understood.
You know what I mean? But I was in your great city. I was in your last Sunday, June 9th, a historic day. And I didn't want to pay for an inside venue because they're very expensive. So I said, let's have it at the park. And I think we only had 6 or 7 people pass out. That's a low number. That's a low number.
Why did you do it outside, Mr. President? It was like 110 degrees out there.
Because it's free. It was like $100 to get the license.
I heard a rumor, but
I
heard a rumor, Mr. President, that you were paying people to show up. Like there was this ad on Craigslist that your campaign was paying people to show up to your rally in Vegas on Sunday. Is there any truth to that, Mr. President?
100%. You can see the ad. Listen, I said I would create jobs. I am creating jobs.
Fair enough.
I didn't say they would last beyond the day.
All right. Well, listen, Mr. President, I appreciate your honesty. I wanted to ask you, this is very controversial in the last 24 hours.
I'm extremely honest. You know that.
Oh, sure.
I was on the cover of Honest Man magazine last month.
Were you really?
What I mean? Very few people get on that. I read it for the articles. I don't care about the pictures and being on the cover.
I've said that about other magazines, Mr. President, but in Milwaukee, you said, quote, where we are all having our convention is a horrible city. Do you still stand by that statement? You think Milwaukee's a horrible city?
Oh, my God. We did it strictly for price. I mean, what a dump. What a dump. You know what I mean? It's like the third world in Milwaukee. In the 1950s, I'd say 55, 56, great place to live. The 60s, what can I say? S-hole? Can I say that? Am I allowed? You have the radio. Yes. What a shithole. 70s, what a shithole. The 80s, they dumped a lot of money in it to bring it back. And now it's a shithole again. You know what I mean? Like, what's the number one thing in Milwaukee? Old Milwaukee, their beer. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So I don't know why we went there. Lowest bidder, so we took it. But don't worry. Listen, we're going to pump so much money into that city, it's going to revive it.
All right. I know there's a lot of people that are upset that you called it a horrible city, Mr. President, but
it is a horrible city. Why do people get mad at me when I tell the truth? Why do people get mad?
I don't know. A lot of people are mad at you. You know what? Speaking of which, for the first time...
I got sharks mad at me now. People telling me there's sharks are mad at me. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. I love sharks. I was watching Shark Week with Stormy Daniels with Horseface.
You were watching. Wow. Why would you talk about sharks in the desert? That doesn't make any sense to me, Mr. President.
I'm fascinated by sharks. There's big tortilla teeth. You know what I mean? Those triangle things. They cut right through you.
All right. Fair enough. If you're just joining us, he's the 45th president of the United States, Donald J.
And
Trump.
47th, and president for life after that.
Fair enough. We will see what happens in November. I got to ask you this. For the first time since the January 6th insurrection, you showed up on Capitol Hill yesterday. How did that go, Mr. President?
Oh, my God. They welcomed me with open arms. They were crying, tears in their eyes. All the congressional congressmen and women loved me. They just wanted me back so much. They were like, I don't know if you saw the photo. They were all on their knees with their hands spread, begging me.
Oh, wow.
Begging me to get back into the president. Even Mitch McConnell, who on January 6th said some very not nice things, and he said them very strongly. Even he was at the meeting. You saw the photo, right?
I did. I saw the photo. But what about the people that have been speaking negatively about you, like Lisa Murkowski and Senator Bill Cassidy? There were some people in that room that have said some very, very negative things about you, Mr. President. I know you don't like that.
Well, I don't like it, but they didn't say it to my face. So what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean?
I see.
I mean, look at. Remember little Marco, who I might have VP. Do you remember the nasty things he said about me?
I do.
That I was a con man, that I bankrupted. Then J.D. Vance said he was a never Trumper. He said I was a con man. Both of these guys are sucking my toes to become the VP.
Who is it going to be, Mr. President? Are you going to tell me who it's going to be?
Well, no. This is what I want to tell you. And then there's Doug Murdoch. What the hell's his name? Doug Murdoch, or the guy from?
Yep.
What the hell's his name?
I know
He's
who
president of North Carolina. Whatever. It's North something. Anyway, I have a brand new idea, and I just thought about this. This literally came to me about an hour ago when we were doing our press conference. I am going to go to the highest bidder, whoever can put the most money package together. So if Rubio comes to me and says, "Oh, sure, I've got $2 million," they, screw off, Marco, you little baby. And then J.D. Vance says, "Well, sir, I have all this money from my Wall Street people. It's fine." Come back to me. I bet you between the two of them, I could probably get $10-15 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And these attorneys who I'm not going to pay, they're very expensive.
I see. Well, there's a lot of people on social media right now that are listening to this, and they're very angry at me for calling you Mr. President. They think I should call you former president. How do you feel about that? Should I call you former president?
Well, I mean, as you all know, especially in Nevada, it was totally rigged. It's totally rigged, and I'm technically the president, but I'm not in the White House. I get that part of it, and you got Sleepy Joe who's asleep at the wheel. But I think the reason the economy is doing so well is because I'm running to be president. You see that? I'm running to be president, and anticipation of that, like Heinz 57, anticipation. People are spending money, and everything's doing great because of me running. So I think calling me Mr. President, as some people are saying, former President Trump is a convicted felon, which I'm very angry about. I chewed Mike Johnson's ear off the other day and other parts of his body. I told him to get me a pass. I told him to get me a pardon immediately. But we have to wait for the sentencing.
Mr. President, I don't want to upset you because I really always appreciate it when you come on, but where is Melania? Where is your wife? I don't see her anywhere.
Yeah, she's so busy. She's so busy being best. She's so busy being best. She's being best at Prada. She's being best at Tom Ford. She's being best at all of those places. And listen, Brian, I'm going to be frank with you.
Please.
That she's not very happy that she had to listen to 6 weeks of people talking, 2 days of Stormy specifically, and 2 days, just mentions of Carol McDougal. So, this happens in marriage. You end up in the doghouse. Now, if I wasn't president or like you said, former president, I'd be out getting strange right now because it wouldn't matter. But I can't because the press is so far up my ass, I can't even talk to anybody. You know what I mean?
I get that, Mr. President. I'm always willing to talk to you. But can I ask you a personal question, an intimate question?
I just gave you a personal answer. So
all right. I mean, there's rumors circulating.
By the way, I had an interview with Logan Paul.
I saw that.
Logan Paul yesterday.
Yeah.
He promoted his prime drink. Tastes like chemicals. I think baby asprin. Very strange taste.
I saw that. He's a great journalist. That was a great interview. But
he is.
Yeah.
He's big.
Very.
He should get a Pulitzer Nobel Prize.
What a great interview that was. That was just about as great as who Dr.
Phil.
Yeah, that was
Dr. Phil.
Are you
Talk about
kidding
a
me?
softball interview.
Yeah.
He's a speaker. You know what?
Yeah, he is. I guess before I let you go, Mr. President, I want to ask you this question. There are a lot of people that are worried.
Hold on. What did you get me for my birthday? Did you get something good for me? Did you get something good?
Well, now
I hope you didn't go overboard.
Now you're going to make me feel really guilty, Mr. President. But if I'll tell you what, when you come back to Las Vegas, I'll buy you a couple Russian hookers. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's good. But it has to be totally discreet. We'll have to erase this conversation.
All right, we'll have to have this
you
conversation
do that, right?
off
You
the
have
air.
The technology.
Yeah, I do. We'll have to talk. Why? By the way, speaking of hookers, why are you taking pictures with all these blonde people at blonde chicks at Mar-a-Lago?
Oh my God! Aren't these MAGA women gorgeous? Their husbands are super rich. Not as rich as me, but all of them have an all aftermarket work done. The boobs, the eyes, the eyebrows, the hair, the skin. It's amazing what they're doing now. And they all look like they're surprised. It's amazing.
It is. Well, Mr. President.
They have that surprised look on their face. And Kimberly Guilfoyle, boy, she went too far. What the hell?
Yeah,
I call her behind her back. I call her Kimberly Guilfoyle. Not Guilfoyle. What's the thing that's on the side of buildings? What's the thing that's on the side of buildings? Gargoyle.
Oh,
I call her Kimberly.
But that's your
Gargoyle.
son's woman, Mr. President. That's
I
disrespectful.
know he hates when I say that.
I bet he does. Well, Mr. President, I appreciate you joining us. I also
What
want.
were you going to ask me? What were you going to ask me?
One personal question. There's a lot of people that are saying
Go
the
ahead.
last time you were intimate with your wife is when you conceived Barron, and she doesn't sleep in the same bed with you. Is there any truth to that at
No,
all?
she doesn't.
Oh, wow.
No, well, I mean, we certainly made love post getting pregnant with Barron. It was right around the time the first Stormy Daniel thing surfaced.
Understood. Okay.
Believe me, it's been a while.
I'm sorry.
Been a while.
Sorry to hear that, Mr. President. There's plenty of massage. There's plenty of massage parlors in Vegas. So when you come back here,
I can't go in. Remember what's his name? The owner of the one football team. He went in for a happy ending, and
Kraft.
they covered that. That's the
Yeah.
last thing I need.
All right. Well,
Kraft,
maybe we can work something out discreetly, Mr. President. I do appreciate you joining us. I also appreciate one of the best comedians and impersonators on the planet, John DiDomenico, joining us. By the way, John, thanks for coming on.
Yes.
I have so many people right now that are so angry at me thinking that it's really the president that are angry. You wouldn't believe all the hate. I'm out of here. This is ridiculous. Call him a criminal. I'm looking at some other messages. How can you call him Mr. President? You got to go after him harder, Brian. I can't believe it. That's a testament to you, man. That's a testament to you.
Thank you so much. Tell them to channel their anger by going to my YouTube channel, The Johnny D Show 1, and subscribing. That's the best way they can channel their
Johnny D Show
anger.
And
Johnny D Show 1 on YouTube. You'll see my face immediately in all the Trump videos.
And I would love to go to your press conference next week if you're kind enough to invite me. I would love to go to your Donald Trump press conference.
We were going to have you here this week with your friend who's the NBA player.
Yeah.
And I had a gut feeling it wasn't going to work. This morning, a pipe broke here at my house. So we had plumbers here and a lot of activity, and we started the press conference about 5 minutes late because I was running to take a shower because I hadn't had any water since 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's always a good time here at the
I'm
White
sorry
House.
about that, but maybe I can catch you next week. That'd be fun. But John, you are.
I won't be here. I will be in Philadelphia. On another booking.
We'll do it. We'll do it in the future.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
Yes.
That's the Friday gig.
Yes, we will do it in the future. You are spot on, the best Trump impersonator in the world. You're so talented.
Thank you so much.
Always,
Thank you.
And I'm so honored always when you take the time to come on, John. John DiDomenico, you are the
it's
best.
Always a blast, man.
I love you,
Have a
John.
great weekend.
Thanks, John. You too.
Brian, thank you so much.
Take care.
I love me too.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. God, I love that guy. He's so funny. It's amazing the hate stuff I'm getting on social media thinking, I mean, listen, I can understand why a lot of people might think it's him because Donald Trump does say a lot of crazy things, but that guy has a spot-on Donald Trump impersonation, and he happens to be extremely funny. So it's always great having John DiDomenico on from the Howard Stern Show, making an appearance. He's so talented, and there you have it. You heard it from the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump. Guys, don't get so angry at me. We're just having fun, man. It's a Friday. We're going to have a good time today. Not that we don't have a good time every day, but come on, you got to laugh once in a while. You got to laugh once in a while. You got to have a good time. Anyway, I do want to get to some serious stuff, and I do want to talk first about Alex Jones. A Texas bankruptcy court judge today has approved the liquidation of conspiracy theorist turd Alex Jones. So most likely, this will be the end of InfoWars. Now, will Alex Jones start up another company somewhere else? I'm sure he will, but he's going to have to be paying boatloads of money, property, you name it, for the rest of his life to those Sandy Hook families. And I don't feel bad for Alex Jones at all. And for all these people on the far right that say, this is his freedom of speech, he has the right to. You do not have the right to incite violence. Doesn't matter where or when. We're also talking about a private business. We're not talking about publicly on a sidewalk. We're talking about a private business that he has, and he said that not only the school shooting didn't happen, but these were paid actors. These are a bunch of 8- and 9-year-old kids that were executed, that were killed. It's such a horrible tragedy. And for anybody, including somebody with a huge platform, to make these kinds of statements is absolutely disgusting, repugnant. And I hope Alex Jones is poor for the rest of his life. He does a press conference outside the courtroom today, and only being the person that Alex Jones is, promoting his show. InfoWars will be done in a month or two. They are a joke of an organization, and Alex Jones deserves everything that he gets. There's no doubt about that. Now, I was being serious when Donald Trump just appeared on the show, but I was being serious that Donald Trump appeared back in D.C. First time since January 6th when he met with some lawmakers, and some of whom do not approve, and they've been very outspoken. Now, I'm not a big Lisa Murkowski fan, but she has openly said she is not voting for Donald Trump. This is Lisa Murkowski asked by CNN how it went. Here's how that went down.
And there's no chance you'll support him.
I've already made clear that I am not satisfied with either choice that we have as Republicans or Democrats.
So you're going to get that from a lot of people. Obviously, Lisa Murkowski, who was in the room with Donald Trump, has openly said that she's not going to be voting for Donald Trump. Now, she's also said she's not going to be voting for Joe Biden either. She doesn't like either candidate, but at least you have a Republican, better late than ever now, that has been calling out Donald Trump. Listen, another guy is Senator Bill Cassidy. Now, this was a little bit pathetic because Senator Bill Cassidy has been openly criticizing Donald Trump, which I applaud, but then when asked outside his feelings on the meeting and who he's going to be voting for, here's how this went down.
Or Democrats.
Was it awkward being at that meeting, given your position on Trump?
I am there to work for my state. I'm there to work for our country. So it's not awkward to work for someone who a poll show will be the next president.
Did he make any reference to the conviction vote?
Again, I'm there to work for my state.
Well, you're not supporting him yet, right?
I don't know how. See y'all guys.
I don't know. That's like 90% of the Republican Party today. Will you be supporting Donald Trump even though you've criticized him, even though he's a convicted felon? I don't know. Sounds like Pete DeBoer a little bit, doesn't he? I don't know. I don't know. While all this is going on yesterday, Donald Trump is quoted as saying in Milwaukee, where we are having our convention, is a horrible city. And then I get an email because I'm on the Donald Trump email list with the surrogates and everything, and they're all saying, no, that's not what he meant, curling themselves in a Republican MAGA pretzel like they always do. He was talking about the voter integrity stuff. By the way, no evidence of widespread voter fraud that took place in Milwaukee. They're trying to come up with an excuse like they always do when Trump said something that is not only not true, that is not only despicable, but will hurt the campaign. Like, we're having our convention here, and Milwaukee's a horrible city. By the way, Milwaukee's not a horrible city. I've been there before. It's a very nice city, and I enjoy going there. Great sports town as well. I think my friend Paul McKeskey would agree. So they bend up in this pretzel like they always do when it comes to Donald Trump's stupid remarks. And this is how Milwaukee Mayor Johnson responded when asked about Donald Trump's remarks, calling it, quote, a horrible city.
Well, Donald Trump wants to talk about things that he thinks are horrible. All of us lived through his presidency, so right back at you, buddy. I'd say that. Look, obviously Donald Trump is wrong about something yet again. I find it kind of perplexing. I find it kind of strange that he would insult the largest city in Wisconsin because he's running for president. He obviously wants to win Wisconsin, win the election. And so to insult the state that's hosting your convention, I think is kind of bizarre, actually. It's kind of unhinged in a way, especially considering the fact that in Milwaukee, there are about 50,000 Republicans who live right here in the city. So you're calling their home horrible. I mean, I don't quite understand that.
Well, because he's an idiot. That's why, Mayor. And I agree with what you're saying. Let me be very clear on this. Donald Trump was not talking about voter integrity. He wasn't talking about any voting issues that were taking place in Milwaukee when he made that statement. He made the statement that it's a horrible city because he means it. And for any Republicans out there that want to make these excuses for Donald Trump, you are pathetic. Just like when he talks about injecting yourself with disinfectant. Oh, he was just joking. That was just a joke. Or when he defended the Confederate flag. Remember when he did that after NASCAR banned the flag? Oh, that's not really what he meant. It was all about freedom of speech. He wasn't inciting violence. He was just questioning the election. Even though every day to today, the election was stolen, it was rigged, the Democrats cheated. No, he's just questioning the election. It's amazing. The 34-count felon. Oh, that was the two-tiered justice system. It was the judge. It was the jury. But what about what happened to Hunter Biden? Well, that was fair, but this was not fair. They crumble into a pretzel, these MAGA Republicans, and they try to come up with excuses and conspiracy theories why Donald Trump says the things he says every single day. I'll tell you why he says the things every day. Because he's not as smart as you think. He's an idiot. He can't control his emotions. And he's hateful and he's bigoted. And he's just got hatred in his heart. So he says really stupid, hateful things. In this case, a city, Milwaukee, that he needs support there. As the mayor just said, 50,000 Republicans. And he says it's a horrible city. I hope he continues to talk like this because he's just going to lose votes by the day. All right, we got to take a quick break. And when we come back, the Mooch, Anthony Scaramucci, is going to be joining us next on the show. I am really looking forward to this. We will take a quick break, and we'll be back with the Mooch right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York-style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Box journey culminates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Box adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com and get started.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840.
The London Bridge Resort in Lake Havasu is the perfect place.
Hi, I'm Coach Harvey Hyde, and every Thursday night at 6:05 p.m., we have our college football report show, which means we talk college football year-round, not only college football, but all sports right here on AM 1400 on your dial, all the things that are happening behind the scenes that sometimes you don't really understand. That's College Football Report, Thursday evenings at 6:05 p.m. here on AM 1400 KSHP Radio. Now you remember to buckle up and ride along with us every Thursday night with College Football Report.
Get ready for the hottest show of the summer. Thomas and Mack Center presents the Fall Back in Love Comedy and Music Jam on Friday, June 14th at 8 p.m. Starring Brandy, Bryson Tiller, Omarion, Mario, Kelly Bryce, Lloyd, Eric Ballinger, and Bobby Valentino. And comedians Michael Blackson, Lil Duval, Brandon T. Jackson, Conceited, Justina Valentine, and Zoe Fenty. For more information on tickets, call 702-221-1200. That's 702-221-1200. Be there.
Clear Sky Resorts invites you to experience the future of luxury glamping at their newest resort, opening August 1st, 2024 near Bryce Canyon. Guests at the first and only glass-domed stargazing resort in the U.S. will be immersed in the stunning scenery of the resort's private 80-acre canyon, both indoors and out. And nights in your Sky Dome will be like sleeping in an aquarium of stars. Located in Cannonville, Utah, on scenic Byway 12, voted one of the most scenic roads in America, the resort will feature lots of fun on-resort activities, as well as one of the world's largest glass-domed restaurants. To book your reservation, please call 1-888-704-4445 or visit clearskyresorts.com.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. I also invite all of you to check out my new website, which is pushingthelimits.live. Again, that's pushingthelimits.live. You can sign up for my newsletter. We got merchandise up there and content, and check it out, pushingthelimits.live. Without further ado, I always enjoy mixing it up and talking with somebody that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, even though he's for a short while. No, I love having him on, all seriousness. Of course, it's the Mooch, Anthony Scaramucci, who joins us right now live on the show. Mooch, always a pleasure having you on, my friend. How are you?
Oh, hi, Aaron.
Can you hear me okay, Mooch? How you doing? Anthony, are we having some technical difficulties here?
You guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me? I think we're good now. Can you hear me, Mooch? This is live radio, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. So sometimes we do have these technical difficulties.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yep, we can hear you fine, Mooch. I don't think he can hear us.
I don't hear anybody.
Uh-oh. All right, well, we'll try to get that taken care of. I don't know why the Mooch can't hear us. Mooch, if you can hear us, no, and we'll get you back on.
You bet.
We'll work on it. We'll try to maybe have him disconnect and then bring him back on. We get these issues from time to time. Live radio, when we do Zoom type interviews on the radio, it's live radio, man. This is what I do. So this happens from time to time. So we'll get the Mooch back on the line. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. We'll have Justin figure this thing out, and then we'll certainly get him back on. There's a lot of questions to ask him. I want to get his thoughts a little bit on the Donald Trump rally that took place, and plenty of other issues to attend to and ask him about the upcoming election, the upcoming debate, Donald Trump's statements about Milwaukee, calling it a horrible city. There are certainly a lot of things to get to with the Mooch, so we'll get that taken care of, and we'll get him back on here momentarily. I don't know why he couldn't hear us. It's funny. We had Ron Filipowski on the show like a few weeks ago, and he had the same issues where he was having trouble hearing, the audio. And then we had him on again last week, and everything seemed to go just fine. So we'll get him back on with us. We'll figure it out. No worries about that. There's a lot of other things in the news, certainly, to touch upon. And I mentioned Alex Jones there for a little bit. But it seems like what the right seems to be doing consistently on a regular basis is mocking Joe Biden. He's old, he's feeble, he can't walk, he can't move. Like there was video yesterday, and I remember watching the video yesterday where Joe Biden literally turns around. He literally takes 1 or 2 steps in another direction, and people say, well, he's lost. He's gone. He doesn't know where he's going. He can't move. So obviously there's going to be a lot of exaggerations, right? Obviously. But the bottom line here is that they're both not spring chickens. But anyway, let's see if we can get that audio worked out. And we're bringing Anthony Scaramucci back on the line. Anthony, can you hear us okay?
Hey, Brian, I'm sorry, man.
No problem.
A lot of traffic out here. I missed getting home on time for this, but how are you, my friend?
I appreciate you coming on, Mooch, and don't worry about it. I appreciate every time you take the time to come on.
You're talking about the 2 fossils that we've got running for president, right? You've got Dinosaur 1 versus Dinosaur 2, and it's interesting because I don't understand the Democrats at this point, and I'm obviously a big Joe Biden supporter. I think Donald Trump represents an existential threat to our democracy. You live in Nevada, so you know he's quite popular in Nevada. And Donald Trump is going to promise everybody everything. So he's going to promise not to tax tips until he taxes the tips. He's going to promise to be for Bitcoin until he's not for Bitcoin. And so he's the most transactional person on the planet. But what I can't figure out from the Democrats is why aren't they shifting gears here? Why aren't they tacking more moderately? Why aren't they talking about, even if they're going to leave Biden on the ticket, why don't they put somebody like Whitmer on the ticket or somebody like that? Franklin Roosevelt swapped out. Knew that Franklin Roosevelt was ailing,
Right.
but it was a more acceptable ticket. I don't get it, Brian. Maybe you can provide insight into it, but it's something I
I'm
don't
with you.
understand what they're doing right now.
I'm with you.
It's
I'm
too
with you.
close of an election
Yes.
to be in status quo mode at this point.
Couldn't agree with you more. On the flip side of it, though, what's your reaction to Donald Trump saying that Milwaukee is a horrible city? Can you say anything any more stupid? What did you make of that yesterday?
So of course, because we're in the post-truth era, his campaign is now denying that he said it, even though we have him on tape. It would be like, your wife catches you in Fragile Dente Delecto. You say, no, that's not me, Brian. There's a clone of me somewhere. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable that they're willing to do this, and they're willing to lie this bald face of a way. But I think that helps. I think that's a gaffe that's going to be quite painful for him. You could also be in a scenario where he's placed into home confinement and he
Right.
actually can't be in Milwaukee. And so now he's got to broadcast into Milwaukee.
Right.
And he said what a terrible city it is. I think it hurts him. I think that's a state that is, I call that the Eagle Scout state. Those are very good people in the state of Wisconsin.
Agree.
And they voted for Republicans down the line, and they voted for Joe Biden at the top of the ticket. When you think about that, so
Yeah.
registered Republicans walked in, they clicked the different R's under the presidency, and they went for Joe Biden. And of course, Joe Biden won that state by 20,000 votes. So I
Yeah.
know it's a tighter election this year.
Sure.
But I do really think this is age related because Joe Biden, Brian, he no longer looks like your grandfather. He looks like your great grandfather, Brian Shapiro. Okay, and that's just the facts. Okay, and I hate to say that because I am voting for Joe Biden. I'm supporting him.
Right.
There's a huge fundraiser out here on Long Island on June 30th. I'm going with my wife. I'm maxing out the donation to go, and I'm going to be there for him every step of the way. But I'm just telling you, this is an aesthetic thing. These elections are popularity contests. They are not hiring decisions by the American people. And I think the Democrats are making a mistake here unless you're telling me they shift to a different gear coming into the convention.
Yeah, I'm with you 150% on his age. He's very feeble, but I still vote for him over. I vote for him over the threat to democracy. So we're both in the same boat there.
Well, I said to somebody yesterday, if there are two movies playing at your local cinema on election day, and one of them is Weekend at Bernie's starring Joe Biden, the other one is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest starring Donald Trump. Okay, so for me, I'm going with the elderly, somewhat forgetful guy that believes in the institutions of the democracy and believes in the Constitution over the crazy person that needs a full-on lobotomy. And again, you got to remind people he wants to deport 15 million people from the country.
Right.
Okay, so that will wreak havoc on the economy. It'll obviously create inflation, but you'll have people trembling in the country as these handmaid tale armored vehicles are roaming around the country, pulling people out of houses.
Right.
I mean, how else are you going to get the people out of the country?
No, you're right.
And
You're right. I'm
don't
with
think
you.
don't think I'm exaggerating that because go to Project 2025.
Oh yeah.
They have a 920-page document that lists everything that they want to do, and they also list all the reasons why they can do it through executive action and all this other stuff. And so they can go right past the judicial branch and the legislative branch. They can do things that no founding father thought any respectable, honorable American president would do.
Yeah.
because they empowered the president with these sort of powers, but no one actually expected them to use
Mm.
those powers. And so
Sure.
it's a fateful election.
No question. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, Mooch, after the Trump verdict. I want to ask you, what does it say about the Republican Party where after the Trump verdict, the 34 count felon found guilty, it's the DOJ, the two-tier justice system, attack the judge, attack the jury. But then when Hunter Biden is convicted, then they come up with more conspiracy theories. This is just to put under the table the things that Joe Biden's done, the Biden crime family. What do you make of this nonsense?
But it's Trump, so the leadership, the fish thinks from that head down. He's a great conspiracy theorist. He's a great founding father of the modern day conspiracy theory where you can say just about anything. And if you repeat it enough times on social media, there's a good portion of the American people that are going to believe it. And so the new theory is, well, they're putting Hunter Biden in jail so that they can put Donald Trump in jail. The new theory is Biden's like the Clintons. Okay, she submitted herself to 12 hours of testimony. They couldn't find
Right.
anything she did wrong. The Bidens, they can't find anything, and what they did find, they prosecuted them on. Okay, this gun
Right.
charge. So to me, that's Trump, and this is the reason why we have to move past Trump. The guy I can't stand is Kevin McCarthy, because Kevin
Oh, he's the worst.
McCarthy gets the profile and cowardice statue of him slinked in the corner like a fraidy cat. Okay, it's almost if like the cowardly lion and the wicked witch of the West had a baby. It's Kevin McCarthy. Okay, and so you're sitting here with a guy that could have put Trump through the ropes, lights out on the 7th of January. He could have had him impeached and convicted, and we would be dealing with a whole new crop of Republicans. And then he could have set the tone in the Republican Party for modernity and modernizing that party. But he quaked. He's overly ambitious, result of which he was only in the speakership for 24.5 Scaramucci's. Okay, you like that, right? Okay, because Scaramucci's are measured in 11-day periods of time. And so Kevin is one of the shortest serving speakers.
Yeah, you got out of there at the right time.
Because he's a coward, man. He's a coward,
No question.
And he could have saved us from Trumpism,
No question. I want to ask you, speaking of Trumpism, Mooch, do you agree with me? Because I've been taking a lot of flack on social media for two reasons. Number one, I believe it's a cult, right? I believe the Trump base is a cult.
Yep.
And I don't know if you would do this, but I compared the rally in Vegas and a video that went viral. It felt like a Klan rally, not because I think everybody there is a racist, not because I think every Trump supporter is a racist, but at that rally, it felt cultish. Do you agree with that?
Well, it's every rally, but also, he's paying people to go to those rallies. It's been documented. He offers money for people to show up. They come for half hour, 45 minutes. They get their money and then they leave. And then he's got people chanting and he's got people on cue doing certain things. He's trying to make the American people believe that he has broader support than he actually does. He may have louder support. He may have the echo chamber of the social media, but he doesn't have the average American. The average American is looking around saying, you know what, I have enough of this nonsense. I don't like an 81-year-old being president. If Biden was really trying to serve the country, he would have stepped down last Labor Day and he would have opened up the primary to younger, credible Democrats. He decided not to do that, so we're here now. But he's got, to me, the quiet support. When I talk to people, they say to me they wish Biden was younger, they wish there was a younger candidate, but they don't want to go back to crazy Trumpism.
Right.
And so let's see what happens. I know the polls look close, but I think this is the reverse of 1980. If you remember, the polls were very close 1980, and then they broke hard for Reagan the last week of the election.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to go the opposite way this time. I think it's going to look close, and it's going to break towards the incumbent when people are saying, well, wait a minute, why do I want to upset the apple cart this much? Moreover, Biden just did with the Ukraine with this loan, this 10-year agreement is really going to put a tremendous amount of pressure on Vladimir Putin. So in the election, you'll see Vladimir Putin at the negotiating table capitulating on what happened in the Ukraine. If we lose the election, you could see Trump pulling us out. You could see 50 getting deported, Trump figuring out a way using the mechanisms of the presidency to pull us out of NATO. Literally be an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah, I agree. I think there you go. Mooch, I think you're going in and out. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Mooch? Gosh darn it. Driving around to New York back home to his family. Sometimes the internet service, sometimes the Wi-Fi or whatever he's using, you're going to get in and out sometimes, but we can check and see if he's back or not. We're watching, we're checking. I was going to ask him one more question, and the question that I was going to ask him next would be, he's going to this fundraiser and he's donating some money. I think that's some breaking news. He's maxing out the donation at this Joe Biden event on June 30th back east. And my question to him was, what are you going to say to Joe Biden? I would imagine you're Anthony Scaramucci, right? I would imagine that's who you are. You're the man. You're the mooch. What are you going to say to Joe Biden when you talk to him? What are you going to say to Joe Biden when you see him? But we'll get Mooch back on the show. Don't worry about that. There are a lot of Anthony Scaramucci's out there. There are a lot of educated, successful Republicans. I have the utmost respect for Anthony Scaramucci. There are a lot of people like that out there. Republicans, people that have a lot of respect for, people like Joe Walsh, who did this show the other day, in-studio guest, the former Nevada Republican chair, Amy Tarkanian, who did this show. Now, the mooch is all in, and he's voting for Joe Biden no matter what. I agree with just about everything the mooch said. Joe Walsh is all in. He's supporting Joe Biden. And then there are the Republicans out there that are certainly not voting for Donald Trump, like the Amy Tarkanians of the world, or Senator Bill Cassidy's, or Lisa Murkowski's. But they're not willing to say they're voting for Joe Biden. Now, I think you still have to take that as a win if you're a Democrat. And then there's the Jeff Duncans of the world, right? I'm voting for Joe Biden. And when somebody is willing to call out Donald Trump on the right or the left, especially Republicans these days, staunch Republicans like Anthony Scaramucci, but if they're willing to call out Donald Trump and say, I'm not voting for Trump, and I know the mooch said he's voting for Biden, but even if you're not going to vote for Biden, I have respect for that. But if you talk to people, and I talk to people on a regular basis, I talk to people that's Republicans that say they won't vote for Trump, but they're just not there. They're not going to vote for Biden. And I think Joe Walsh said it best the other day, and I'm kind of echoing a little bit of what he said on this show. Do you think Donald Trump is not competent, not only the right temperament, but he's unfit? I believe that's the word that Joe Walsh said. Do you believe Donald Trump is unfit to be the president? And they'll say yes, the majority of them that won't vote for Trump. And then a lot of excuses I hear from some people. Well, I don't like Kamala Harris. Okay, do you think Kamala Harris is unfit? Most people will say, no, I don't think she's unfit. I just don't like her policies. I don't think she's great with the media. Okay, so who would you rather vote for? If the argument is I'm not really voting for Joe Biden, I'm voting for the vice president, then would you rather vote for somebody who you admit is unfit for the job, or vote for somebody who you don't always agree with, you might not even like, but you would say is still not unfit the way Donald Trump is unfit? You have to bring it to them coming from that perspective. But I also look at that as a win, and I have respect. Even if you can't convince them to vote for Joe Biden, that's okay. Because that's one less vote for Donald Trump that he received in 2020. And I think that's really, really important, right? That's really, really important. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. 'Cause I don't know exactly the outcome of what's going to take place in November. Nobody does. I could certainly give you my opinions. I could tell you what I think is going to happen. I think Mooch explained it perfectly. The bottom line here is Joe Biden's going to win the popular vote just like he did in 2020. This election's going to be close up to maybe the last week, and I think Joe Biden could run away with it. I certainly hope that happens, and I think the Mooch... Listen, make no mistake about it. Guys like Joe Walsh, Anthony Scaramucci, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Jeff Duncan, these are names within the Republican Party. And some of these people are not only endorsing Joe Biden, but as the Mooch just said, he's donating money to the Biden campaign. And everything the Mooch said is very fair. Yeah, Joe Biden's old. He's nowhere near the same guy he was even 5 years ago when he was vice president. He's old. He forgets things. He misspeaks. He's your typical, in my opinion, 81-year-old man. Do I want somebody younger in office? Absolutely. But as I said in my Newsmax interview last weekend, and as I say again, I vote for democracy. I don't care if Joe Biden is 150 years old. And here's another important distinction. Joe Biden has competent people around him. Now, you might disagree with the Democrats' agenda. You might disagree with it, but he's got competent people working around him. Can you imagine if Donald Trump is reelected, all the incompetent people that he will have around him if he is reelected? Think about what took place in 2016 in that administration. Imagine what it is going to look like in 2024. I mean, might make Stephen Miller seem like a normal human being. It's really scary to think about that. This debate, make no mistake about it, at the end of June is extremely important. This might be the most important debate in the history of this country. Joe Biden needs to prove to the American people that he's competent for another 4 years. He doesn't have to win the debate, but he has to be mentally sound enough. So we're going to have to wait and see how this thing goes. I want to thank my guest, Anthony Scaramucci. We got him for 15 minutes. I know he's having some issues driving home in New York City. They got to fix that. They got to fix the cellular reception in New York City, but I appreciate the Mooch, Anthony Scaramucci, for joining us. And it's funny because comedian John DiDomenico, who probably is the best Donald Trump impersonator in the world, joins us on the show. And I got all these hate messages on social media. Numchuck, take the microphone for a minute, if you may, just for a moment, because you were looking at the chat in social media, and it seemed like there were a lot of people that are very upset at me because they thought that was really Donald Trump, and I kept calling him Mr. President, right?
There was, yeah.
How many comments do you think were
I wasn't counting.
Plethora.
I wasn't counting, but yeah.
Okay. How many people are watching right now that I have you on the air, which is very rare, by the way. I want you to get on the air more.
8,200.
8,200 people. That's not bad. 8,200 people watching the show. We had 30,000 the other day after my escapades at the Donald Trump rally. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. Before I do, I want to tell you guys about my good friends, big supporters of the show, Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones. Every Tuesday this month, if you show your TAMGuard, you get $50 in free slot play. And every Thursday, they're giving out $1,500 in gas cards. Just play the slots out there. Tell them that I sent you. Great food, great atmosphere. I love Jackson's Bar and Grill. My favorite gaming bar in town. It is legendary. Speaking of legendary, we're going to take a break. And the guy coming up next, I think arguably you can make the case one of the best, honest, and best and skilled sports bettors on the planet. I love this guy. He is Mr. Personality. That is for sure. And he's you've heard him on Fox Sports Radio, of course. Countdown to Kickoff, seen on Action Showtime. He's been on VSiN, ESPN. The legend himself, Bill Krackenberger, joining us next. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Remy Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Box journey accumulates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Box adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com and get started.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Geez, my thanks to the 45th president for joining us. That was really an incredible interview. Wow. Also known as John DiDomenico. My thanks to Anthony Scaramucci joining us as well. I love I'm kind of a Vegas historian, right? Anthony Curtis does this show a lot. I've had, back in the day, gangsters from the 60s and 70s come on this show. I love interviewing people that are, legends in this town and all sorts of different professions. And the guy joining us in studio is certainly no exception to that. So his name is Bill Krackenberger. He is known as a professional sports bettor. We have a lot of mutual friends. You've heard him on Fox Sports Radio. He's been seen on ESPN, on the Action Showtime, on VSiN, Countdown to Kickoff, and he is world-renowned as one of the best sports bettors in the world and an honest man, which is so rare in the profession, and it's certainly an honor to have him here, Bill Krackenberger. Bill, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, great. No, it's funny when I'm like when I hear the word legend, there's so many people that are legends, and I don't consider myself a legend in anything.
Well, you're a modest guy, but in the sports
I'm not even trying to be modest. I mean, maybe in the sports betting game, I've been around it 30 years. And I preach responsible gambling, yet I make my living betting sports. I've been thrown out of thousands and thousands and thousands of bookmakers threw me out for using my brain.
That's unbelievable.
Probably up to like 5,000 now. I mean,
you've been kicked out
Caesars
of
just threw me out.
You've been kicked out of 5,000 books because they won't take your action because you're that sharp.
Well, because I win.
Right.
Yeah, I win. Long term. I have losing weeks.
Caesars just kicked you out.
Caesars just banned me. Yeah, Caesars just now. I have a 7-star card. I can go in and gamble on the sucker games.
Right.
But I'm not allowed to play blackjack, or I'm not allowed to bet sports.
You don't count cards, right?
I'm not going to be. I'm not playing on the level on blackjack. Wow. I'm not cheating. Just using my brain.
But you're counting cards. And
well, you can count. You could do a couple different things.
They
you
won't
can
let
ace sequence. You can section.
Right.
There's a lot of things you could do. Ace tracking. There's a lot of things you could do rather than counting cards.
That'll
counting
give you
cards
a
will get
small
you.
edge.
Counting cards will get you thrown out real quick.
Right.
Normally backed off.
Because
quick.
you bet small, and then when the count's in your favor, you're betting big, and it's easy to spot.
Yeah. And by the way, when people hear the word card counting, they think, "Oh my God, you're so intelligent and intellectual."
Nah, just keep.
You can learn. Yeah. You can learn 90% of what I know. 4 hours on the internet. Just do a search for card counting. There's a great card counting guy that has his own podcast now that does his own shows on YouTube for free. Oh, I wish I knew his name right now. I can't think of his name, but it's really good. It's like a blackjack. Just put blackjack in on the search on YouTube. It is excellent. That guy is great.
I'm amazed though, Bill, what you just said. You've been kicked out of 5,000
local bookmakers, local books, and
unreal.
Yeah, and the brick and mortars like Treasure Island and Boyd and now listen. When I say thrown out, they say you can bet with us, but your limit's $5 grocery dollars. So
so $500.
But to be 5 grocery dollars, $5 little dollars. They'll tell you.
Are you kidding me?
No. Definitely.
They won't even let you walk in there and bet $100 on a game.
No. Yeah, I can't bet on the app. That's for sure. The counter I may be able to try. I have a 7-star card.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Why not just? And I'm sure you probably do.
Yeah,
this,
beard in or have someone else
get
bet.
Other people bet for you.
Yeah, you want to know the truth though? I'm making some really good money in media now, like sick money. I never think I would make the kind of money I'm making in media between the different. I don't want to do anything illegal, and it's illegal to have a runner in this town if you pay them a salary. Now they could take a piece of the bet. Like I could tell you, hey, go up. Here's $2,000. Go up and bet this for me.
And if you win, I'll give you blah blah blah.
Now that's okay. But if I pay you a salary to do it daily, which is the way that people use runners,
how can anybody find out about that? You keep it quiet. How can somebody find out about that?
Everyone's a rat.
Yeah.
There's rats everywhere. You wouldn't even believe who are rats.
So where are you betting?
We just found out that John Gotti Jr. is a rat.
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone rats. I mean,
it's true.
There's no one.
It's hard to trust people.
Yeah, everyone's looking to rat. Listen, this is a town that's based on people coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Gambling world, it's probably the worst world there is anyway, amongst degenerates and stuff. Now think about this. God basically lifted the top of the United States, and he shook it real good. And where did the people on the lamb go? Las Vegas or South Florida? That's it. There's no one else on the lamb anywhere else.
Right.
That's the two areas. So
that is wild.
Las Vegas has a lot of people that are running from something.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about your life, and then we can get more into some of the bets that you've made in your lifetime. But you're from the Bronx.
Yeah. Well, originally, but I grew up on the Jersey Shore.
Okay. Grew up on
Monmouth
the Jersey
County,
Shore.
a little blue collar.
You grew up with
Irish,
the situation.
Catholic, Italian, Jewish town.
I got you.
Yeah.
Through where did you go to school? Where did you get an
Monmouth
education?
County, New Jersey.
Okay, so you get your education. What did you want to be in your early 20s? What did you want to do with your life?
I just wanted to graduate. I played football. I was president of the senior class. I was real, always trying to teach and lead, and never be a follower. So I was, I don't know. In our town, you're lucky to get out. We have so many vices on the Jersey. I was in North Jersey, Jersey Shore, which is actually a North Jersey town on the Jersey Shore. Boardwalk town I grew up on since I'm 9 years old, cutting pizzas in my aunt and uncle's pizza stand. My mother was Italian, so her family owned a great pizza town.
Hardworking family,
very hard
restaurant.
Family-owned restaurant.
You go to college, you get an education.
No, there's no college.
You didn't go to college.
Who has money for college?
Oh, I don't know.
Are you kidding me? Thank God my parents didn't have money for college. I could never make what I made in the last 30 years.
You weren't even able to go to college.
Education. No.
What did you do in your 20s to make money?
I worked every blue-collar job, I literally detailed cars, worked with my dad. My dad was a builder. He can build everything from the ground up. Literally can build plumbing, heat, electric, everything. My grandfather, he built 3 houses for the family from the floor up. So I worked with my dad doing some, carrying wood. Now, in 2024, I have a hard time hanging I wouldn't be able to hang No, I wouldn't. I couldn't hang a photo. I'm terrible. I have palm olive.
I'm bad at that, too.
My wife says I have palm olive hands. I just pay everybody
So
to do
you're
stuff.
working, you come from a blue-collar family, hardworking family. You're working all these different jobs.
Sold
in your 20s.
cemetery plots. I was in the cemetery.
Did you? Wow.
Yes.
That's a spooky job.
I was selling cemetery in the cemetery with all the the dead bodies around me there. Yeah, no, I sold cemetery, sold radio ads, detailed cars. Like I said, I worked in a car wash.
To make money and
every blue-collar job you can think of.
And at what point in your life did you say, I want to move to Vegas?
I got a call from someone in the Atlantic County Jail down by Atlantic City. and he was in jail. Now, there's a guy that didn't rat, as a matter of fact. There's a guy that I know him for years that did wound up doing 7 years in Pennsylvania. But this is back in the early 90s. He said, listen, there's something going on in Atlantic City. There's something going on in this casino. I heard it in here. There's a machine, a blackjack machine that's overpaying. Something's going on. And I already knew blackjack card counting from 1986. My cousin Anthony, who owned the pizza stand for his mom and dad, my aunt and uncle, he went to a blackjack card counting seminar in New York and learned how to count cards and taught me. Nighttime, that boardwalk turned into a game of chance. All the boardwalk, the wheels of chance turned into real gambling. So I learned a lot of gambling from a very young age. Back in my teens, and it's a rite of passage to grow up in a family like I did. Right. This call I got was about these machines. I go down to there was a Golden Nugget in Atlantic City at the time that Steve Wynn owns. But it just changed hands, though. So it wasn't the Nugget. It was either Bally's Grand or Atlantic City Hilton, whatever it was, because it changed hands many times. It's closed now. And I didn't know what I was looking for, really. I just got that info from the guy in jail. And he told me to just look for a bank of machines. Just these guys are there. And sure enough, I go. It's around 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I was off my second job that night. I brought like $1,000 with me. And maybe I had a couple grand to my name. That's my whole life savings. Right. But I go there and I see this bank of machines. Sure enough, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and all 10 or 12 machines. I think it was 12 machines were taken. And I'm like just waiting them out. An old man got up from the end machine, right on the end. I remember like it was yesterday. He got up. I jumped in that seat. The guy on my left changed my life. Imagine that. The guy on my left, if it's not for him, I'm still working blue-collar jobs, trying to save money, trying to save $100 a week. Guy on my left, 6'6", glasses, very, very kind of gangly, and you methodically. By the way, you couldn't even put. There was no tickets in, tickets out at the time. It was you put a bill
coins,
in.
Yeah.
It's coins,
right?
Big dirty dollar coins.
Right.
So he's like, hey, can you buy one of these rolls of dollars from me? We want to keep the hoppers full. So I bought $40 in coins. They were $20 each in the rolls, and I'm putting them in. I still don't know what's going on. I said sure, so I bought them off him and trying to keep the hoppers full. And I'm like, what's this guy talking about? Well, sure enough, the machine, if you know blackjack, if anyone knows blackjack out there that's listening, there was a feature, and it's still in some casinos on shoe games, called Surrender. Right. Surrender gives you 50% of your bet back. If you want to get out of the hand, you have a 16.
Like a hard 15 or 16% face card.
Yeah, just give me my money back, and that's it. Probably a good bet if it's a positive count. In card counting, you use a lot. But so I see the feature on the game. Well, I realize it's only $1 a hand, by the way. I realize now what they're doing. It's giving you the whole dollar back if you don't like your hand. Sounds like nothing, right?
What?
It sounds like really nothing, though.
That's not nothing. I'd sit there all day.
I made $6,000 that night.
Oh my God!
$6,000, and it only lasted 2 more nights, 3 nights total. It's amazing. I got that call from the guy in jail.
I would have called every single person I know to try to sit at that.
I can't believe the old man got up. He just didn't realize what was going on there. Yeah. So, in other words, by the way, you're supposed to surrender anything up to 18
Can
verse 10.
Can I ask you a question? Though?
Yeah.
If it's a $2 bet or a $10 bet, they're not giving you the original 10 back, are they?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a dollar bet though. It was $1. They're giving you the dollar back. So every hand, bang, dollar back, dollar.
So the max you're betting on that machine though is only
$1. It was $1.
So you're there for a long time.
Yeah, but it's if you're playing fast, it's real simple. Surrender. So you're surrendering an 18 verse 10. 18 is a losing hand, by the way, verse 10. So you're surrendering.
Even 19 versus 10, you would consider surrendering.
It's a winning hand, 19 versus 10 though, long term. 18.4.
But it's a computerized game though.
It is a computerized game, but it's regulated by the Gaming Control Board.
Okay.
You know.
Wow.
But So anyway.
How much money do you think they lost on those machines in 3 days?
They took my points away the next day. I got like I had like $400 in comps built up or something, and they took my points away. Remember the next day?
Why?
But
that's ridiculous.
because the machine had a malfunction, and we were just playing. We weren't cheating. I was just playing with the game that was there.
Right.
And the guy next to me wound up being my business, my partner for the next 10 years in sports.
Oh my God!
Because he asked me, he said, "Do you bet sports?" I said, "Yeah, I bet sports up in New York." And he's like, "Oh, okay, because you can make a lot of money in sports too." He's telling me all these stories. By the way, he introduced himself as he was the head of the card counting team at Resorts that worked for Resorts International, big casino in Atlantic City. The first casino, by the way, outside of Nevada that ever opened up, Resorts International, Atlantic City.
How about that?
He was the head of the card counting team.
And he had somebody that hit him up that said,
at nighttime, he was going out doing exactly what he was protecting the casino against, card counting, looking for advantages on machines, and Yeah, he showed me the original, like, oh my God, so many different casino things that were my favorite. There was a machine called Boom, Boom, Boom machine with these little firecrackers. He showed me how it was an advantage. Today, there's like piggies and Frankenstein, different advantages in the casinos you could play if you find the right number. But yeah, Frank showed me everything. I brought him on my Showtime show with me. He was on there for one episode, and Frank showed me everything about sports betting. And back then, there was a lot of different sports books that were brand new. They were down in Costa Rica, Panama, Curacao, Antigua, and you would send them. By the way, I had $1,000. I sent $500 to 2 different sports books. They doubled the offer. They gave me $1,000 in each. So already I'm up $500 each book. He showed me all about the bonus game.
So this guy just took you under his wing.
He did. He did.
You go from a guy from a blue collar family, working your ass off.
Quit my job.
You're about $2,000 or $3,000 to your name. You got $1,000 in your pocket. You sit next to this guy. You win $6,000 that night.
Yes.
And then your life changes forever. And now here we are sitting in 2024.
Yes.
And forgive me for asking, but you're a millionaire. Is that fair to say?
I usually don't talk about that, but
I don't mean to get personal, but you've done very well for yourself.
I've done very well for myself, and
over the course of your lifetime.
But however, even though I'm a street kid still, so
you know where you came from.
I've given away so much money. I'll put it this way: this is going to shock your listeners and you. I have more money owed to me than I physically have.
That's sick. That
now,
makes me
granted,
ill.
I do have a few million in real estate paid for.
Right.
I will admit that. But as far as liquid, I have more. I'm an idiot.
How does that happen?
Because I've helped everyone.
You're a really sharp guy.
I've given
Is
away
it just
money.
your good heart?
No, I don't.
People
I have,
taking advantage of you.
I have terrible money management. Like I said, I listen.
But how could you be a professional gambler and say that?
As far as other things, not
gambling.
Not gambling. No.
Personal stuff.
Matter of fact, when it comes to gambling, I don't even watch the games. I very rarely even watch the games. It's all a math thing now, and it's all an algorithm model based. Back-tested system. It's nothing to do with I said it on Showtime. People got mad at me. They said, "Oh,
how can you enjoy watching the games?"
NFL, I have to now.
Just from a standpoint of
listen, I'm on Fox now. So I'm on 512 networks nationwide. I have to know the NFL.
Right.
So I am immersed in the NFL, and you wouldn't even believe the deal I turned down. They wanted me on 5 days a week, and if I ever told, like my parents ever knew, they're passed away now. If they ever knew the healthy 6-figure deal I turned down, I can't work 5 days a week. It would cost me money. Monday morning, I'm up 5 a.m. betting games, moving lines.
So you turned down a big deal from Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
You turned down.
I'm on the weekend. I'm on the weekend.
And
I'm
I love
on
your
one show, 3 hours.
So they offer you 5 days a week. I would imagine a couple hours a day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2.
You don't have to. Okay, 2 hours a day. 10 hours a week, and I understand there's a lot of work that goes into it. Trust me.
Research.
But offering you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to do this, and you said no because you're making more money betting.
Yes.
That's so incredible.
It would cost me a lot. It would cost me a ton.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
But
I just paid a quarterly tax bill. I'll be happy to show you off air, and you'll be like, "Get out of here."
But Bill, don't you think when you maybe will there be a time where you'll stop betting and say, "Hey, you're going to do it until you die"?
I love it till I die.
You're not going to stop.
I think I like watching the bookmakers sweat more than even winning the money. Yeah. No, I watch some of these antiques in the casinos. They're unbelievable. Some of them. Like they think it's coming out of their pocket. And that goes as far as not just that, table games. These guys that are just burnt out in the industry, making this. Go to any crap table. Go to any crap table in town. Look at the guys running the game. They don't even want you there unless they're keeping their own tips. Guess what? Not many places keep their own tips. Stratosphere, I don't know anywhere else that really keeps their own tips besides poker dealers. These guys, they don't want to work.
Have you ever had anybody that approached you like big money, billionaire type money, that said, "Bill, I want to take you under my wing. I'm going to pay you so and so. I just want to buy your picks. Don't give them to anybody else."
Multiple times. I was down in the Bahamas.
Can you give me an example? Yeah.
Baha Mar, which is they just opened. It's a beautiful casino. It still is in it's either Paradise Island or Nassau. I've been to them so many times. I've been to Paradise Island, Atlantis. It's in Nassau, but it's 15 minutes away.
Right.
Great place, by the way. Beautiful. I go down there, and the Showtime show just came out. So now I go down, and a guy grabbed me from High Limit, and he's like, "Hey, we just seen you on the show. My buddy would love to see you." And I kind of ignored him a little bit. "Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll stop by maybe." And then he grabbed me. A second night I was there. I go on High Limit with him. The guy's got like $500,000 in front of him gambling. They take big money. Baha Mar is a big joint for the high rollers. They're High Limit. And he gave me $100,000 in chips. He goes, hey, Crack. He goes, wow, that's so. He goes, here, man, go in the sports book and bet for us. Well, first of all, at the time, I wasn't even allowed to bet at William Hill. William Hill ran the sports book.
He just
there.
gives you $100,000.
$100,000. He goes, whatever you do, bet for us like $25,000 a game, and I'll split it with you. Wherever if you lose, it's on me. You know, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. I'm not holding someone to that. I'm not thinking about it now. Maybe I would maybe do something long term. It was a great deal for me, but you know, I didn't want the guy to come blast me in case we lost somewhere, or you know, I'm on an island. I don't know
you don't know who these people are.
I don't know they were.
Obviously, if someone's got $500,000 at the table, this is a guy you don't know where the money.
I don't know where the money comes. Yeah.
If it was somebody that you had heard of. Like if it was like a Mark Cuban type guy, then you would have probably done it. You think?
Maybe. I at the spur of the moment, right there, and you know, I'm making so much money betting sports. You know, what am I gonna win? $50,000? Like, and that's not a lot. That's a ton of money. But situationally, I just didn't do it. I just didn't want the guy.
And you've had that happen to you.
I got a really good Twitter following. You know, I have like 51,000. I get 5 million views every 3 months.
Yeah.
They're actually they're not paying much, but they're paying me. So you know, I'm getting paid some money on Twitter. I mean, I got a good, solid, hardcore, you know, sports betting audience. I say hardcore. They know. You know, when I do VSiN I just did VSiN this Thursday, yesterday morning, and they're all guys that are really in tune with gambling and stuff.
Sure.
So, you know, all it takes is one person to say something. Now, listen, under anonymity, these guys say something anyway, so why wouldn't I do it? You know,
Right.
These people make up things. They just make up lies. Anyone can just make up a lie and say, oh, that guy did this with me. And then, you know, you have to I just block and move for people if they say something stupid.
I want to ask you, well, there's a lot of people that say a lot of things stupid, especially on this show. But, but Bill, if you're just joining us, Bill Krackenberger joining us, professional sports bettor, advantage gambler from Fox Sports Radio. I would imagine that over the course of your career in doing this, you've had a lot of ups and downs. It's not all, but my question to you is, what separates you? I think I know the answer to this, but what separates you from 99.99% of other people in your industry?
You know, someone asked us on Twitter recently, a guy I respect, you know, he said, hey, he goes, he actually said, you know, what percentage do you think of people that bet win? Up like 5%? I said 5%.
Not much
it's
less.
not even 1/10 of 1%.
Right.
Now they may say they win, or they may go into it saying I'm a winner, but that actually win week in, week out, and you know, month in, month out. Listen, I've had losing months. I've never had a losing quarter, which means I never had a losing year. Almost 30 years now.
That's unbelievable.
So it is unbelievable, really. And it's a grind too. You know, we just literally. I have a losing month. I don't think about how much money I'm down. I have 6-figure swings on the weekend. You know, I don't think about how much that is because I know what I've done. I know what I have accomplished in life. I know what I have. I know, and I'm not an extravagant guy, by the way. I have a 4-year-old Kia outside. I have a 4-year-old Kia Telluride. I go out and buy a Rolls Royce cash tomorrow, but I don't. I'm not a flashy guy. You see any jewelry on me or anything?
But do you not let that affect you if you lose like a couple $100,000 in a weekend? I mean, what is your mood like? Do you let that affect? It's got to affect you.
Nah, because I know what I've done. I know what I did. I know what I've done. I know I've had sick years, crazy years that I can never lose back that money because back then you were stealing. Literally, it's harder and harder to win now than ever. The sports books are petrified. They have guys in risk that I wouldn't give a mop job to. These guys, literally, if someone wins, they actually cost the companies they work for money because they throw out the regular Joe Publics and the squares if they win. They don't even realize long-term NFL's coming. Guy loses $100,000 a year in NFL, and they're throwing him out for winning $12,000 in tennis.
I had that happen.
This guy won $12,000 in tennis, but he loses $12,000 in a weekend in the NFL.
Yep.
Why would you throw him out? Because
you're right.
You know what? On my shift, I don't want it. So my boss is above me. If they ever knew I was throwing a guy out that loses the kind of money he loses, or just a losing player, they would be pissed off. They would be really upset at me.
Bill, I know exactly what you're talking about. This was maybe 8 or 9 years ago because it happened to me, and I'm no professional gambler or professional sports bettor, but I know tennis pretty well, and they just started with these apps, right? This was like right when the fad just came out. And it was in-game wagering. I think it was the U.S. Open.
Ooh, they're scared of in-game wagering.
Yeah, so it was in-game wagering on a major. I think it was the U.S. Open. I'm trying to remember. And I didn't win a huge amount of money. Maybe it was like $7 or $8 grand. It wasn't like a crazy amount of money, but it was a lot of money for somebody like me. And they cut me off. They wouldn't let me bet on tennis. They said I can bet on other sports, but no more tennis bets.
Wow.
So I said, screw you.
Don't bet anything.
Screw you.
You know what's stupid though? Why throw a guy like me out? Like Caesars was good to me. I beat them for a lot of money. DraftKings
You're
was
talking
very
beating them in the sports book.
Yeah, in the sports book.
Yep.
This is only sports book stuff. DraftKings, very good to me. Very good to me. DraftKings I beat for a ton of money. Banchero to be the first pick.
7 figures?
Six. No, six figures.
figures.
6 figures. Just
Nice
on
six
just on Banchero. I'll show you the tickets on break here.
Wow.
Banchero. Then I won a golfer.
When you say Banchero, you're talking about prop
to be the
bets?
number 1 pick.
Oh.
To be the number 1 pick, Banchero. Yeah.
How much did you bet on that?
They took 5,000 at 16 to 1.
Oh my
Another
God.
5,000 at 12 to 1.
Who was favored?
That's what happened. What happened was there was a guy on ESPN. He's a big name, Wojciechowski.
Yeah. Adrian Wojciechowski.
Yeah, you can see how much I even know guys.
I've met him.
Yeah.
NBA insider. Yep.
Well, he controls the market. What he says. So even after I bet it, and it went from 18 to 1 at the Westgate, where I actually had an 18 to 1. I bet $2,000 there to win 36,000 at the Westgate. Even after I bet it there, I bet it there. It went down everywhere to like literally 2 to 1.
Oh wow!
Do you know that the morning time?
Wow.
He says someone else was going to be the number 1 pick on ESPN. Do you know my guy goes back up to 10 and 12 to 1 again? And I bet it again. I bet 1,000 to win 12,000. So I bet it again. And sure enough, that night, Woj comes on 30 minutes before the draft, and he says, "I'm hearing Banchero may go to Orlando first," and just like move the whole market. I have a video. You'll die laughing. Listen, I want to tell you, I don't get emotional over bets. Never. That one I was a little bit emotional over. That one probably was able to make my house get paid off.
Why
did
you take that bet? What did you know that the general public maybe didn't?
Well, just you get, and by the way, that it's blown over out of control when someone says I have inside info.
Right.
No, we just had a good idea from a guy that's in the media in Orlando.
Oh.
We had a good, that's just like beat reporters is the reason why I beat college football, college basketball.
Right.
By the way, always open, always honest. College basketball this year did not win. Didn't lose, but didn't win. That's how hard it is to beat this game. So,
so you rely on a lot of beat writers and people that follow that team rigorously. They go to practices. They know the injury report, which you, by the way, have to if you're going to be a professional sports bettor. You have to know all that stuff, and you become friends with them. If you don't mind me asking, because this is not illegal.
Sure, it's not illegal.
But would you give somebody on the side for information like that?
No.
Would you pay somebody? No.
No.
For a tip? No.
No, absolutely not.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that people that, for example, if I'm covering the UNLV basketball team every day, a hypothetical, right? And I'm going to practices every day, should I be allowed to go to the window and bet?
If you're covering the practice, what are you doing wrong?
Well, what if
you're
I know
watching
about an injury?
the game?
What if I see
and seeing it? Well, that's not my fault that I have the injury information
I know that,
before
Bill,
the sports book.
I know, but just hear me out on this. Let's just say best player. I'm covering the Lakers, and LeBron twists his ankle, and he can't
we're
even
at 6
walk.
points.
And then I got my app right in front of me.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I be allowed to make a bet?
Absolutely.
You don't see anything morally wrong with that? Okay.
No,
neither do
why?
I.
You're there. You're there. You're
I
seeing
agree
something.
with you. I just wanted to know your opinion on
Yeah.
that because there's different types of inside information. Now, let me talk to you about this. Or maybe we should take a break before I bring this up because I want to bring up, Bill, this player that used to be an NBA player who now could never play in the NBA ever again. Why? Because people were making prop bets on him, and he was fixing it, meaning he left the game.
What an idiot.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that when we come back. He is Bill Krackenberger. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. Bill's nice enough to be sticking around for one more segment. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Bucks journey culminates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Bucks adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com and get started.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Friday. Please check out my website, which is pushingthelimits.live. There are some people out there that do not want me on the air, that don't like my politics. I'll leave it at that. How do you support me? Support my show. Get some merchandise out there. If you don't want to get merchandise, you can click the donate button. That's up to you. But pushingthelimits.live. Check out my website, and I appreciate all of your support. If you're joining us right now, we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, as I would like to call him. I know he doesn't like that, but I'm going to say it for him. Bill Krackenberger, professional sports bettor. His stories are unbelievable. I could listen to him tell stories for ages. And, I know a lot of people in this town. Vegas is a small town as far as, people who you know. And there's not one person I've ever talked to in this town that says Bill's not a great guy. He's honest. He takes care of his friends. If his friends need help, he helps them. He's a very generous guy. He's an honest guy and very well respected in this industry. And Bill joins us in studio for one more segment. I do want to touch on this real quickly, Bill, before we move on to some other stuff.
Sure.
This former NBA player, Javante Porter. So I'm hanging out on the strip, and all of a sudden a couple of gamblers say, Brian, you're not going to believe what just happened to me. I just talked to one of this guy's agents, his name is Porter, and the agent said he can only bet a certain amount of money, and he can't bet it on this prop on DraftKings. He needs some help, and he wanted me to bet for him, and I bet $1,500. And I said, oh, okay, interesting. And what did you bet? I bet on under 3 rebounds on this guy named Porter. I said, okay, interesting. Well, the guy didn't have any rebounds, and he left the game 3 minutes in. And I said, okay, there's some real shenanigans going on. So I found out about this way before it became public, right? And then all of a sudden I find out a few weeks later there's an investigation, and this guy Porter intentionally faked an injury, telling his agent and multiple people to bet unders on him in props. And now he ruined his entire NBA career. He'll never be back in the NBA.
Unbelievable.
What do you make of this story?
Listen, first of all, I would call BS on it. I would say no way that his agent talk to him, and he's not going to. He's an NBA player, making, I would
That's just
say,
what I was told. I didn't talk directly.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No. It is what happened.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't even bet on it. I just wouldn't believe that an NBA player would be that stupid.
Right.
But it did happen.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of craziness in the industry, because I hate when people say games are fixed, things are fixed. And every Sunday in any sports book in this town, people are screaming and yelling because they only look at the game from the way they bet it. You and I could bet opposite sides of the game, and when the game's over, we could both make cases why we should have won. It makes us come back to the counter the next week, the next day, whatever it may be. So I hate fixed. This was fixed. The referees fixed it. This is a reason why people say this, is when they hear this happen, and this did happen. And it bothers me how stupid a guy is. It ruins his career for the rest of his life.
It's sad.
With short-sight thinking like that. But I'll tell you right now, There was a referee.
Tim Dennehy.
Years ago. Tim
He's done my
Dennehy.
show before.
Oh, really?
He's a professional sports handicapper now.
So is he really?
He gives
I
out
didn't even
picks.
know.
Yep.
So 20-some years ago, 20 years ago.
Yep.
I was betting hot NBA. It was moving. Now when I say hot, it was just syndicate betting. Now when I say syndicate betting, it means that you're part of a large syndicate. It doesn't mean the mafia. It means a sports betting syndicate that bets and moves the line on the games. Like I literally could set up my screen here right now and bet a college game and bet 4 different key sports books, Circa and stuff. Everyone moves just because on air without taking a bet because they see Circa move. So syndicate betting was happening on NBA totals and NBA sides, and games were moving, and I was getting some of the hot sides, and not to think much, it was winning at a clip like 60-some%, which is unbelible.
That's
unbelievable.
Unheard of. Isn't it almost impossible to be 55%?
55% will make you a lot of money in it. But if I did, but I want to be real blunt. I've had years where I hit 60% college basketball.
That's incredible.
It's a 3-month period, and it's especially in the beginning, the softest.
What's your lifelong percentage in all sports combined, if you had to guess?
All sports?
Yeah, everything combined in your life.
I would think I'm approaching that 55%.
That's
by the way,
there's almost nobody that can do that.
52.38 is what you have to beat.
So 53% to be a winning sports bettor.
Right. But myself, with multiple outs, and you have different lines, you have different juice, you have different rebates and stuff, probably about 51% I have to win money because I have so many different places to bet, and options, different lines.
But the average person, you got to win.
52.38.
Yep.
55% will make me a lot of money every year. And people say, 55%? I could do that. Oh, that's no big deal.
Not that easy.
It's not easy. Now, there's certain sports. College sports, I'm above 55% lifetime, college sports. But NFL prop bets, stuff like that, I was doing great in them for years. Now, because of everyone knowing about prop bets and everyone finding out and doing these fantasy drafts and this and that, it's a harder thing to beat. Still beatable. Now, the teasers, which I used to lay $1.15 on a 7-point teaser, in this town, it's like $1.50. $1.60 one place charges.
Yeah.
Like no one could beat $1.40. Never mind $1.15. So, that used to be a beatable thing through the key numbers of 7 and 3. You could just tease the home team down. Don't have to know anything. You don't have to know the color of the jersey. All you know is you have a home team given 9 points, 7-point teaser. Tease it down through the key numbers of 7 and 3 down to 2, but. The sports books have made that unbeatable with the juice.
They made the adjustments.
And the game has changed.
Right,
Analytics is involved now. Now the extra point's 10 yards further.
Right.
Now you have teams that go for it mathematically. If you're down by 14, they get a touchdown instead of just going for the extra point. They go for 2.
Right.
So there's a lot more analytics involved now. Teasers are almost unbeatable because of the market. Now, if I can get 6-point even teasers like I used to get, I'll still beat it. 7-point minus $1.30, I'll still beat it.
But teasers, you only use them in football. You're not going to do that in basketball or other sports.
But yeah, basketball, I was getting that stuff and probably didn't realize. I would have bet more if I knew it was fixed.
Yes.
I shouldn't say.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say if I knew it was fixed because I'm still not going to believe. Like I said, just about the Porter thing. Come on, I wouldn't believe.
You got to be pretty stupid
for a prop bet.
Okay, but going back to Tim Dennehy, he owed a lot of money to some very, very bad, dangerous people.
That's what they say.
And he claims that he didn't fix games. Now, listen, I've had private conversations with him that I'm not going to repeat.
Yeah.
But on the air, I'm going to go by what he said.
Right.
He claims that he never fixed games, but he was swayed with totals in certain directions. But he never actually
calling fouls.
Let's read between the lines here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's read between the lines.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd mind me saying this. Come on. Some stuff was fixed. Let's be honest, okay? He told me that there are officials even before the game, sometimes in the meetings that they have. They know if they're going to tee somebody up. They know if they're going to call the game.
Let this guy play or something. They know
if they're going to call it soft or hard.
Yeah.
They know exactly what's going to happen. Now, on the side to that, though, you would think that this NBA Finals, if we're going to talk Celtics-Dallas, it's not good for the NBA for it to be a sweep. But it's I tend to believe that Dallas is going to win the game tonight and extend the series. That's just my personal opinion. That's just a personal opinion. And I'm a Celtic fan. But this is not good for the NBA to have these types of games, right? This type of series.
Listen, you probably want things to go longer. I thought Dallas was going to win the other night. Very rare side. It's only the second time this year I bet an NBA side. I lost.
I thought Dallas was going to win too.
I lost. See, now if I knew you were on, I would have got off it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Sorry.
I'm the mush.
Sorry.
You're probably right about that. Bill, if you don't mind me
I
asking,
want to show you something too in a second.
Sure.
Go ahead.
What is the biggest bet you've ever made? Now, it doesn't have to be a sports bet. It could be something else. What is the biggest gambling? Because you're a guy that good money management gambling,
Yeah.
right? Maybe not in your personal life helping people, but
Yeah.
what is like, because you have good money management, what is like either the biggest bet you made or the most amount of money you won in a 24-hour?
Banchero was the most. Banchero nothing was close.
Hundreds of thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
hundreds of thousands on Banchero.
How does that feel, Bill?
I was really that one. I actually, if there was any bet that I sweat in the last 5 years, it was Banchero. It's going to sound sick. It was not only for my six-figure score. I told so many people. I gave it to so many people.
You
Banchero.
told people about it.
Oh my God! I gave so many people. I gave it out so many times to so many
Who
people.
was the favorite that year? Do you remember?
I don't. there was two people a favorite. He was the third choice.
The skinny
by the way.
guy. The skinny dude who played for Gonzaga, right?
I think so.
Yeah. The guy who played for Gonzaga was Evan. Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah, I actually wanted to show you because I'm sure it's still on the reason why I was thrown out of Caesars. It was on Twitter. So this was on Twitter, this bet. So someone talked about it on Twitter and said, hey, this guy only needs, this particular guy needs to play in this game to continue his streak, of consecutive games. Even though he's hurt, the team is going to, they're going to let him play.
So they had props and you bet the under. Is that what's going on
So
here?
not only did I have props,
I love it.
The sportsbook put the props up in a parlay. Here it is. Oh my God, there it is. There's the bet right there. You're gonna read. You can read it. Go ahead. Right. Bridges, Mikhail Bridges. You can see the bet there.
So what I'm looking at here, I'll show it in front of the camera. What I'm looking at right here is a 4-team parlay under plus 1.5. Bridges total 3-point field goals, under 3.5 total assist, under 4.5 rebounds, under 23.5 points, and Bill bet $200 at 6.5 to 1 to win $1,500.
So $1,300. I won $1,300,
and
it threw me out.
And how many minutes did he play in that game?
Only a couple minutes. He just now listen.
That's
I'm not going to lie to you.
unbelievable.
I tried to bet more. I tried to bet a couple thousand.
And was there only one book that offered you that here in town?
Well, this book was offering the same game parlay, so which is normally a sucker bet, but they allowed that.
How
and
did
it's
you
not
get that
my fault. It was on
that
Twitter.
You saw it.
It was on Twitter.
And people didn't pounce on that?
They did. That's why Caesars banned everyone who bet this. But let me ask you something. I'll tell Caesars this. How dumb are you to ban me? Because let me be blunt. I'm going to beer it back in. It's a great book to have. So now you have to find out, wow, this guy's sharp. He's winning. And this whoever this is, just Joe Blow and Sam Smith, and they're going to find out who this like it's so dumb. At least they know it's Bill Krackenberger betting. Limit me to a dime or something. And you know it's Bill Krackenberger. You should probably move.
And then they'll save money because if they see you betting on that, then they'll make adjustments.
Overmove. Get your client based on the other side of that thing.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, I was hurt by this because I wish if I had a chance to take that bet back, I would, because I like Caesars. They give me points for it. They give me a 7-star card. Atlantic City, it's very good to have a 7-star card. But now that I think about it,
listen, don't get hurt, Bill. I've gone to some casinos before where
them.
they don't want me to throw dice at a craps table because 1 out of 10 rolls, both dice aren't hitting the back wall. Have you ever heard of something so stupid than that?
Listen, it's happened to me already.
It's ridiculous.
It happened to me at the Golden Nugget downtown 20 years ago. Maurice Wooden was the president and CEO of the place. He became president and CEO of the Wynn after that. And Maurice can testify to this. Oh, he's president now of Fountain Blue. Yeah, he's the president. He's the biggest position there. Maurice actually came to my room with the VCR tape. That's right, there was VCR tapes back then, and apologized and said it said Krackenberger footage on the side of it. And they said I was spinning the dice.
Oh, God.
I was spinning that. Now here's the real reason why.
You and I have something.
I had my
like
whole
that in
Myrtle
common.
Beach crew there. My buddies from Myrtle Beach
Spinning
were all
the dice. What the hell does that even mean?
They were all in a helicopter spin.
Who cares?
So they all said now my buddy on the end. I hit hard 10 twice in a row. He won 80,000 on 2 shots. He had the hard way. It was the point. He was double dipping.
And you weren't cheating?
No, I would love to say I was.
Yeah.
What
does it matter if you throw the dice like that as long as it's the back
They
wall?
were spinning, and the guy, one die didn't hit. So they grabbed the dice on me and said, you can't shoot the dice anymore.
What?
Yeah, and I went nuts on the shift manager. I called him every name in the book. And literally,
What a jackass.
I didn't want the guy to get fired. They fired him because they realized this crew, this junket from Myrtle Beach, loses millions of dollars every year. They can go to any casino they want. They go to the Golden Nugget. They were flying on a Hooters jet nonstop from Myrtle Beach to Las Vegas.
They mistreated them.
Now the table lost $200,000. Big deal. These guys lose millions. they've actually fired the shift manager.
You know
and
what?
the
I'm
box
going to
person.
disagree with you on something. I think he deserved to be
I
fired.
mean, you should
It's
just
total
get taught.
if you're running that casino, Bill, do
Yeah.
you want somebody like that working there?
No.
Okay, so there's your answer.
I wouldn't give him a mop job.
Well, there's
as
your
they say.
answer. I
Yeah.
think they made the right
I
decision.
felt bad
there.
that guy fired.
Well,
but
you shouldn't. It's
he's
pure
an idiot.
Pure
idiot. I don't know where. Anyway, so that did happen to me. It's funny. I don't play dice or things like that, but back then, 20 years ago, my
You
buddies
did,
would all
yeah.
come in. I did play. Now
It's
you're
not a winning game.
You're not going to catch me playing anything in a casino unless I feel I have an edge.
Okay,
so
but
when
let me ask
see
you
me
about
playing
that.
video poker and stuff,
I want to ask you about that.
Sure.
Let's get into
Go
that,
ahead.
Bill. So we've gone into your sports betting, and,
Yeah.
and obviously you're brilliant at what you do.
Yeah.
But let's talk about slot machines, particularly you only play video poker. Now, there's not one machine in the world, and I'm not talking about comps or points.
Yeah.
I want to hear you out on that in the long run, you're going to win cash.
No.
Is that fair to say?
Listen, I'll say no, but sometimes there is. Well, they'll actually advertise it. Like our games pay 100%. Like they'll set the game to 100%, but no one plays it to 100%. It's impossible to know perfect strategy. I don't even know perfect strategy. So I'm going to say no. You're right. Every game is negative EV.
So how do you make money? Explain.
By getting cash back, by getting cash in to walk in to play a game. Like in other words, I can go to the Bahamas right now. I just got an offer, an email to come in, and they'll give me $5,000 upfront money if I put $100,000 in the cage. By the way, the host actually said, "You know, Bill, I see you have a $50,000 line here. All you have to put up is 50. So you put up 50. We're going to give you the $50,000 credit line, and we're going to give you $5,000 walking in. Just to
Right
walk
away.
in, $5,000 in free
Now, you
play.
have to play big in order for them to do that.
You do. You have to run money through the machine.
You walk in there with a couple grand, they're not going to give
No,
you
you won't get the offer again.
Right.
So like I have a friend that's in Margate, New Jersey. I love him to death, but he's like, whenever I get deals in Atlantic City or something, he goes, "All right, that's it, let's quit." I said, "No," his name's Scott. I said, "Scott, I can't quit because I'll never get that deal again."
Right.
You get money to walk in.
Right.
So like literally. I'll just show you something. I just got. This is a great day for this because I just got this deal today. I took a photo on my phone. Here it is. Here's
casino offer.
Here's the casino offer, and if you could see that without it flipping around, of course it's going to flip. But it's $300 per day. See the $300 per day?
Yep.
$300 per day, $9,000 for the month. So I was like,
Is this a casino in Vegas or outside?
No, Atlantic City.
So in Atlantic City, you can literally live in a cheap motel there for a month.
Oh, no, they'll give you their free room there.
Yeah.
You can live there. $9,000. $300 every day. Slot cash is real.
And if you're playing a video poker machine that's around 99%
90,
payback,
they have 99.5 there. They have jacks
so
or better.
that's how you can make money.
Yes.
So it's not whether you win or lose.
Plus
when
the
you-
cash back, plus the food, plus the comps.
Right.
Plus they'll even give me airfare if I lose.
So when you get an offer like that, how much money, what's your, the word is Theo, but what's your average bet? How much action do you have to give them in order to get, for the average person that has money,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say the average person, to get a deal like that?
Well, put it this way. Even though I know the games very well, I go to
Yeah.
a site called VPFree2, the number 2.com, and that shows you. It's a great thing. I don't know who owns this site, but it's a great site. I don't know how they make money.
Yeah.
But you go there and it shows you every single casino in the world. It shows you exactly where the best payout machines are in that casino. It's free. It's
That's
a free
incredible.
thing. I think the guy's just retired. He just goes around. He asks for volunteers to put him on there too. So I go to VPFree2. I find VPFree2.com. I find out the casino, find out the best payouts on that particular machine. I'll also go to Michael Shackelford's site. Let me just think of it. Of course, I can't think of it. Michael Shackelford's
But
a genius.
VPFree2 is a good one.
VPFree2 there.
Yeah.
That's to find the machines. Now, to find the strategies is going to be
Wizard of Odds.
How'd you know?
I knew that one.
Holy shit. How did you know that?
I know some stuff. I know
That's
my stuff,
unbelievable.
Bill.
That's the site. I couldn't think of it. Wizard of
I know
Odds.
it. I know
Michael
it.
Shackelford's site gives you basic strategy and everything.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, if you're playing bonus poker in a casino, you could just put it into a search engine. Google bonus poker, video poker strategy. It'll show you the payout.
Boy,
It'll
that-
show you the
but Bill,
strategy.
you know what I couldn't handle? The
It's a lot of
ups
work.
and downs.
Oh, ups and downs.
You could get slaughtered.
The beginning of this, I was going to say to you, last year, just to show you,
Yeah.
this is a fun thing for me. I lost money last year playing video poker. I probably lost about 50 grand for the year. Even with all
How
these
many
deals,
comps are you getting,
all
though?
these bonuses, if you throw them in there,
Yeah.
I'm eating free in the best restaurants and stuff. Maybe it's an even year for me because it does save me money too because I spend a lot of money every month eating out.
Right.
But
They give you
I
airfare,
ran
too?
bad.
Airfare?
They give me airfare too. I ran bad and I lost last year. This year, I'm up a little over double that.
Okay, so give me
I've
an
actually
example.
run really good this year.
So give me an example, and I don't know anything about this trip that you just
Yeah.
took, but you just said you went to Foxwoods the other day, right?
I did.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
a
what is
winning
the-
trip finally there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
give me an example. What did they offer you? What did they give you for free? What did you play? What did you win?
They had a 4-time point offer, so you get 4 times your points. I'm playing a 99.5 game, so with the 4-time points with basic strategy. By the way, it's an easy game to follow basic strategy. I feel I play it to.
It's like a bonus poker game or something.
It was Jacks are better.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Jacks
so
are
very
better.
similar.
Boring game, by the way. People don't like to play Jacks are better, but they don't realize that the key thing on Jacks are better is two pair.
I knew you were going to say
2
that.
to 1.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a gambler. No. Even for you to say that, most people of host of shows would not know what that even means. The 2
I'm not
pair
your
thing,
regular host. I'm Brian Shapiro.
You're right. No. Are you going to a meeting later? I'll go with you. No. It really is unbelievable. You know that. But anyway, the 2 pair. Now, most people say, "Oh, I'm not playing that. I got to play where the aces pay $400, $800, or $2,000 or $4,000. It's not fun. I like to get the bonus one." Keep on playing those games that are 2% less than the game I'm playing, long-term volume, and not even know the strategy.
You get killed.
You're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Like I said, I ran good now, so now I get 4-time points at Foxwoods.
Which is a big deal for a player like you.
Well, it's big because that's worth about 0.2%. It's not a lot still. However,
but still,
the host that gives me money to walk in, so now I get upfront money. I get RFB food. I get other offers for $250 a day. They give me $250 a day there. So I was only there 2 days. So
you just go by yourself, right? You're not bringing your wife or family or anything.
No, only once a year.
Do you like to go by yourself?
I do. My wife doesn't really. My wife doesn't gamble. I shouldn't say doesn't really. She played Wheel of Fortune once with $20 and she got so pissed off. She got so mad that she lost that. She's like, I could have bought something with that. She's smart. But just to let people out there know, you have to get deals, and everyone's entitled to a casino host. Don't think that because you're only playing quarters that you're not entitled to a casino host, $1.25 a hand. Don't go by those kiosks that are out there. The kiosks are BS. They only show you as a guide. You can always go to the casino host who could make what's so-called exception comps for you and give you more than give you really what you're entitled to for player loyalty than what the kiosk says. The kiosk is just a guide. Just because it says you have $22 in comp.
Can I ask you? Sorry to interrupt, but what?
Go ahead.
You got about 5 minutes left here. What do you think are some of the? Gosh, I hate to put you in this spot, but you're so honest. The worst casinos as far as comping. That you would highly recommend. Don't walk into that casino. You're not getting a bang for your buck. And then I'll ask you the opposite.
Strip casinos are tough to. It's tough to go into a strip casino and get a comp. A big $1 billion casino like what's the one next to the Caesars? I'm sorry, the Venetian. The Venetian, like Palazzo. I think it's tough to get a comp there. By the way, the only place that ever turned me down for a credit line. I don't know why.
Really?
I was going in for an offer. Host was giving me a couple grand. I have credit in every single casino because you keep good credit. Goes by Central Credit and your ability to pay. But I'm not upset about them because of that. That was 10 years ago. But some of the strip casinos are harder to get a comp because they're used to such high rollers and they're based on non-gaming casino hotels. In other words, MGM Mirage Corporation. There's over 60% of their revenue comes from non-gaming. Customers coming in, literally paying for their meals, paying for shows, paying for rooms. Unlike I'll go back 20 years ago when it was half of that. 30% was non-gaming, 70% comps. Totally different today. Local casinos take care of you more. That's why people love to go like Palace Station when they come in town.
The local. I thought you were going to say that. South Point's another good one.
The local South Point. They have a giant
the locals
hostess.
Will take care of you. All right, I have to ask you this, Bill.
Go ahead.
And again, I promised you coming in because I wasn't interested in talking any politics with you, but I'm going to bring gambling into this.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't bet politically in the state of Nevada or the United States. It's against the law, as you know.
Yeah.
But you can go offshore, and some reputable books.
DraftKings in Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the odds now, not to get into a political discussion, because that's not why I had you here.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is a slight favorite at -125.
Wow.
On most books.
I didn't even know that.
On most books. Joe Biden is almost 2-1. I think I think Joe Biden's a live dog.
Joe Biden's plus 2 to 1.
Yep.
When did that happen?
Plus 198 right now.
It was
if
pick
you
'em
go
last
to
time I seen.
oddschecker.com.
Oh yeah, they show you the odds of different things.
Michelle Obama, who by the way is probably not going to run, is 31-1.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom is 47-1. I see Kamala Harris at 69-1.
She got no chance.
If something happens, and
She's got no chance.
But if something happens, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But if something happens health-wise to
Yeah.
Joe Biden, which by the way we both don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But if it did, and then you go Robert F. Kennedy Jr. 69-1, Gretchen Whitmer 179-1, Nikki Haley 179-1. Forget about all political opinions aside. I just think there's value betting Joe Biden at
You're gonna think I'm sick. There's value betting somebody. Yeah. You're not going to believe it. Michelle Obama, 30-1 to 1.
You think
I could bet that right now? 31 to 1?
Yes.
Boy, I might have to go to Canada.
So here's
just
my
to bet a dime. I bet a
so
dime.
here's my thought on this, Bill, and I
Yeah.
understand, and I don't necessarily disagree with you.
Yeah. Not that I want her to be the president. I'll just tell you, this has nothing to do with that. This is just people will take it that way and say, "Oh my God, he's pro-Trump or something."
Bill, I'm asking
They're
you
out of
just
their
from a
minds.
money perspective, not from your. You understand why I'm
Yeah.
asking. So I understand why you're saying that.
Mm.
She doesn't want to be anywhere near the White House. However, if she did run, landslide victory.
Well, I don't know about
landslide,
but
I
but
no
31,
chance Trump beats
well,
her.
then you got to take the
No
31 to
chance.
1.
But she doesn't want to run though.
Well, that's what she says. Let's see
There's
what
only
happens
5
after.
months
Let's see
left.
what happens with this.
Can I be honest with you? And this is maybe where my political be the best thing that could ever happen to the Democratic Party if Michelle Obama said, "Joe, you need to step aside. I'm going to take over." In my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But why are the odds so high?
But,
That is
but,
high.
You know,
isn't
her
it?
husband will run the country, not her. You know that.
Perhaps.
It would
Perhaps.
Be, you know.
Perhaps. But so do you ever make political bets or no? Not really.
Let me tell you something. You're talking to someone that's lost on political bets.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Did you
I
lose
lost. I had Hillary Clinton.
Hillary
Clinton.
cost you money?
Oh, by the way, nothing to do with her. I really don't even like her, to be honest
Right,
with you.
right.
But I had Hillary Clinton cost average minus $1.70 over Donald Trump in that election.
I hate to ask
it
you
was
how much you
minus
bet.
6.5 to 1, 35,000 I lost.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I lost 35,000.
Wait, hold on a second. Back
Yeah.
up here. You're telling me in 2016 you went on an offshore account and you bet Hillary Clinton to win the election for 35 grand?
I cost average minus $1.70. There was some kind of a tape came out when Donald was on a bus or something with someone, and the tape
Grab
came
him
out,
by the P word, yeah.
and I caught it right away. And I actually
Didn't affect it at all.
Yeah,
Isn't that something?
I lost $8,500 on a bet right there, minus $1.70.
Oh, you must
And then
have
I had
so much anger towards
Yeah.
Hillary losing.
But I mean, I just I would have rather seen a videotape of her losing. If I seen a videotape of her losing to Donald Trump, that would have satisfied me.
That's
at
worth
least.
the 35,000.
It's probably worth it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Bill,
I mean, you know, listen, I'm not a political guy though. Honestly,
I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't get into politics.
I know you're not.
I don't follow. I don't even follow. The
Unfortunately,
news.
I am, as
Yeah.
everybody knows. Bill, I can't thank you enough for
Anytime.
coming in here, man. This has been so much fun. And yes, you are a legend and one of the good guys in this town. And I have so much respect for you. Anthony Curtis is another guy I would say
Love
the
him.
same thing about. You two guys are the best.
He was on my podcast too.
Yeah,
He was great.
and I appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on.
And
coming on here.
just to let people know too, I like the podcast I do is on YouTube. It's at Crackwins with a K, and I'm on at Bill Crackman on Twitter. And I just try to always show people some positive sides of gambling, and I show them how to make some money with these advantage slot machines that are out.
And
the
you have
bonus
a huge
machines.
following. You have a
pretty
huge
good
following.
I have a good following. I
Huge
get a
following
couple
on
million
social
views a
media.
month.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
it's
are the
pretty
best.
good.
Well, I'm going to put some of these clips up on Twitter. We'll see if Bill retweets it for me. I don't know. That might be a big ask, but
Awesome.
we'll see. All right, but Bill, thank you so much for being here, my man.
Anytime.
I really appreciate you. Fascinating stuff. All right, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope everybody has a phenomenal weekend. Please check out my new website, which is pushingthelimits.live. Again, that's pushingthelimits.live. And, of course, all my social media platforms and everything else. We'll be back at it on Monday. I don't know if Chris Wynn will be here or not on Monday. Depends how the weekend goes. But thanks for joining us, everybody. I do hope everybody has a great weekend. And my thanks to my guest, Anthony Scaramucci, John DiDomenico, also known as Donald Trump, and, of course, the legend himself, Bill Krackenberger. We'll everybody have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Take care, everybody.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well,